All right, so we're live finally. Thanks,
Hey.
Brian, for joining us, and Wertandrew from the community. And this is the
Hello.
38th episode of the SparkCast, if I didn't say it already.
Ooh,
Surprised we made it this far. We're almost at 50.
I know, that's crazy. That's
It's
a great
becoming a
achievement.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, when we have the 50th episode, it will also be the 1 year anniversary, because we missed 2 weeks due to the holiday and Brian moving across the
Yeah.
country.
That's true.
So we'll have a big 50th episode extravaganza where I'll blow off some of those compressed air canisters a little bit that everybody likes to poke me fun at me for. Anyway, so this week we had a bit of a bombshell drop the day after the last week's Sparkcast.
I know, yeah. That
So
was fun.
we didn't get to talk about it while it was still like a frenzy going on across the internet, but now, if anybody isn't familiar with what I'm talking about, is Conker. So they released the release date of Conker and said that it was an episodic adventure rather than a 8 hour, 10 hour game inside of Project
Mhm.
Spark.
Yeah.
And also, we didn't even know that that was going to happen. I thought we were just going to get the assets related to
hmm
Conker. So, do you want to go ahead and talk about why you guys were making a Conker game instead of just giving us the assets, as was kind of hinted at with the E3 trailer? E3?
Yeah. There's a lot of reasons behind the idea of the episodic adventure with what we're calling Conker's Big Reunion. So we did originally have planned just to sort of do the asset pack and really put it in the hands of creators. And I think what we saw as we went further into it is if we're bringing Conker into Project Spark, Conker inside of Project Spark doesn't sort of it's independent of what happens to Conker outside of Project Spark. But we knew bringing him into Project Spark means that we have to treat him well, give him the respect he deserves in Project Spark, and he is a character with a huge story behind him. And so we knew we had to build a story. And that's kind of how we came up with the episodic experience. So that's kind of everything in a nutshell why we. It was actually pretty early on we decided, okay, we do need to make an adventure with this, and we also knew that there's so many Conquer assets to tackle that we thought it actually would be really cool to tackle sort of tackle the asset packs in sort of an episode nature, and then pair those with different episodes from Conker's Big Reunion, so that this is episode one coming out April 23rd, but then future episodes we can bring in additional characters and additional assets, as well as another full episode. So
Right.
kind of similar to basically Champions Quest setup.
Yeah, we haven't seen the second episode of Champions Quest yet either. So,
Yeah, all I can say is you'll see that in the next few months.
okay. So it's in the near future, not in the distant
Mhm.
future.
It definitely is. Yeah, we did. I will say we did basically deprioritize Champions Quest for Conquer pretty soon after the release of Champions Quest One.
Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
So, one of the more hot button, I guess, or controversial things going around in the Xbox One subreddit threads or etc., or comment sections across the internet, the appearance of Conker. He's changed. Some people are saying he looks less furry or whatever.
Right.
So, do you want to go into why he looks the way he does?
Yeah. And then I'll also get to I saw G-Man's question, so I'll get to that as well. But yeah, the so like Conqueror's look. So there are kind of two things that led us to the look of Conquer, and really the look of all Conquer things that you're going to see at least in this in this iteration of it. We have the Spark look and feel, the Project Spark look and feel, and then we also actually wanted to base the look and feel off of Conker's Bad Fur Day rather than Conker Live and Reloaded. It just Conker's Bad Fur Day fit a lot better with our own aesthetics than Conker Live and Reloaded. I think Jed from our team could probably give you a lot more reasons as to why that's the case,
And
but
he's next door, so go ahead and bring him in. I'm
no,
kidding.
he's super busy. He's super busy with everyone's incredibly busy with our like final burn down on Conker stuff.
But he's the
You know,
concept artist. What does he need to do with the end game stuff?
well, he is also like we're basically bringing like everyone from our art team into this to make sure it's good. So he and the team when they started concepting out Conquer, They're going for that look and feel that was like Bad Fur Day, and it also was just feeling so right in the Spark universe as well. So we had both our art style as well as Conker's Bad Fur Day's art style to look at. Not to say that we won't ever cover the Live and Reloaded art style kind of in our own, but we wanted to cover the Bad Fur Day art style. So, if people try and compare us with Live and Reloaded, it's sort of like, I think I saw someone make an interesting comparison of like comparing Zelda Wind Waker with Twilight, like Twilight Princess.
Sure.
There's there's different art styles, and we just have a different art style than something like Live and Reloaded. We may experiment with that down the line, though.
So the Conquer game itself isn't the selling point for core creators like myself or Wirt.
Mm-hmm.
So Wirt, you saw the trailer and the making of the trailer stream. What props that we've seen so far they jump out to you as something that you're going to use?
First one, the machine gun, because it's a
Yeah, the
modern
machine
prop.
gun.
I'm
Yeah.
crazy with modern props. And then
See, I thought
I
you were
don't
going to
know,
talk
I
about
just
the
have to see
paint.
the rest. Sorry?
I thought you were going to talk about the terrain paint.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, its rain paint is also great. It's a bit more generic, and I think it will fit well in other cases. I love the little grass that which
I'm
which is
glad. I'm glad you noticed that. There's definitely some of that hidden in the trailer. I want to get back to because there's a really interesting story behind Grios22475. He's also known as G-Man in on Twitter. He's like one of the biggest Conker fans. There was actually a really interesting story behind. We released a Vine with like 5, 6 seconds of gameplay.
And Henry was in there.
Right, Henry was showing up. All right, so there's actually a really funny story behind that, which is why I wanted to get to it. Conker's 10-year anniversary was during PAX, or no, sorry, not PAX. It was during GDC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so at the time, I was at GDC. Zach and I were all at GDC, kind of showing off Project Spark to a bunch of developers, and Henry was like, "My God, it would be so amazing if we did something." So we tried to coordinate something about actually we made that original Vine around Conker's 10-year anniversary, and then we realized that it just wouldn't be right to have that as the very first thing we ever showed around Conker. And we actually did originally make it for G-Man, because G-Man basically for months has been asking us Conker questions and has put out amazing Conker videos and is just is one of the biggest Conker fans. And so we always wanted it to be sort of a nod to G-Man for all the great stuff he does about Conker.
Don't
and
believe it.
we just no, it was
Nope.
true, and we just wanted to we last minute realized, no, we have to put this out after we put up the Conker teaser trailer. So as after we put up the Conker teaser trailer, then we thought, all right, we can finally plan this. And then G-Man put out his reaction video to the Conker teaser trailer, and we're like, this is perfect. This is our kind of response to that. So it actually was originally planned to go out on the 10-year anniversary of Conker, but we just didn't have our ducks in a row with having the teaser trailer ready.
Did you actually tweet at him in it? In your
Yep.
That was then I guess I have no leg to stand on.
Yeah, we tweeted specifically. We said, thanks for the video. Here's our response.
There you go, and it proves that Henry isn't dead, which is nice.
Yeah, Henry was like really gung ho about like specifically. He also specifically said like calling out to responding back to G-Man for this. So he's the one who actually kind of came up with what we could show during it. And so because of that, I think you might see other random vines of Conker-related stuff leading up to him.
So, 2 questions that came from the chat. One was directed at Wirt, pretty much, and then the other one was directed at Brian. We'll start with Brian.
Ooh, wait! There's a Game Globe question. No
That's what I was
way.
saying. That was the one directed at Wirt. But first, price. And is there going to be a season pass? Like with Telltale Games, they know they're going to make 10 episodes of the Game of Thrones game, so you can buy all of them at the very start. Is that going to be something with Project Spark with the Conker games?
We're not ready to reveal price or season pass information.
All right, so you're useless to us. Wirt,
Yeah.
Game Globe. You like Game Globe, right?
No, why do you think that?
Okay, next question. Now, Wirt was the guy who's been championing everything that was related to Game Globe being important to Project Spark in some way or form, whether it be the control scheme or anything. And he also let in a bunch of other Game Globe folks through an early beta who didn't seem to have a whole lot of stick-to-itiveness because it wasn't exactly what they were expecting because it wasn't exactly Game Globe. But yeah, Project Spark does offer a lot of the same functionality as what Game Globe would do, is my understanding anyway. So
Yeah, basically, I tend to compare the drawbacks that at some places that Project Spark has, and I tend to compare with Game Globe so I can find some solutions at bugs and stuff. So it helps.
we actually have a
Just
drinking
basically
game.
That's experience.
We have a drinking game.
Sorry?
Whenever Wirt says Game Globe, we all have to take a shot.
Of course.
And as is
I was quiet for a while though. I was quiet. I didn't say anything.
yeah. Or you didn't think you were anyway, but you were just in the background just saying Game Globe. Game Globe.
Oh, by the way, speaking about Conker, the only thing I didn't like when I saw the initial release back in, where was it? The previous E3?
Oh,
The only
yeah.
thing I didn't like is the actual guy that voices Conker. I would prefer the original Bad Fur Day voice. You know,
Yeah,
like this
that is the
strange
voice.
UK accent. Is it?
That,
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
Chris Seaver.
it's Chris Seaver. Yep. Chris Seaver's back to voice Conker. Yep. I mean, Chris Seaver hasn't.
Wait.
He hasn't voiced Conker for
It-
10 years, so his voice has changed a bit.
Yeah.
Really?
yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
in
that-
the
that's
teaser,
Chris
in the first trailer that Conker just cuts the logo, was it him?
Yep. That was also him.
Then why did he use the like he kind of said some letters weird. I don't know how to say that in English, but like the like.
Oh, he like a slightly different lisp and stuff. So the really funny thing about Conker is like when you actually listen to Chris Seaver himself waffles between like how
Different
Conker
speech
talks.
impediments.
Yeah, he'll if you as you're playing through Conker's Bad Fur Day, it just Conker will sometimes sound differently in different scenes. It's this weird thing, but it's just sort of it's this uniqueness to Conker. So yeah, like for instance, we have all of Chris Seaver's VO for Conker's Big Reunion, and we're playing it. And some of the lines sound so Conker, and some of them like didn't sound Conker. We're getting really worried, but then we went back and listened. We're like, oh no, this sounds totally like Conker in this scene. So it's just like that's kind of how Conker is and how Chris Seaver does Conker.
And someone asked about multiplayer in Project Spark as it relates to Conker. Well, I don't suspect, based on the fact that it's episodic content, that it will itself will be multiplayer. But you can make multiplayer games in Project Spark. So someone
Yep.
could make a UGC Conker game.
Yep, I can say this episodic experience will be single player. You can make your own multiplayer Conker games though. Like if you want to make a awesome Conker Teddy's Arena like back in N64 and Xbox One era, totally. Or wait for someone else to make it too. I'm sure many people will make that.
And rolling in, the next content pack is going to be Recon Mission, which was shown off again the day after last week's SparkCast.
Yep. Yeah, that's coming out. Two little fun surprises that we didn't really reveal until we put out the blog post of it today is you're going to get the Scoundrel pants and the Scoundrel boots. So now all that's left of the Scoundrel character is going to be the mask. You have every other piece of the Scoundrel suit from all the different sci-fi packs, and the mask is the last one left.
So the mask goes in the helmet slot, or is it an attachment?
That will go in the helmet slot.
Okay. And since it's coming out tomorrow, do we have a price?
Yep. It is. Yeah, the price is on the blog. It's 600 tokens, 24,000 credits.
Interesting. So I guess a lot of that was sound and special effects, though. And
yeah,
a character.
plus new character with like all new animations and such.
Mostly new animations.
Well, so like all new animations, same character rig as the Operation Mole drone, but he has all of the animations are different than the Operation Mole's animations.
Oh, so the scoundrel character is actually just clothing bits from different packs, right? So
Yeah, it's been slowly we've been building towards a scoundrel. Oh man, when you guys see the helmet slot thing for him, oh man, we saved the best for last. That's all I'll say.
I was hoping for like a hat, the knit hat from Jane from Firefly. Are you familiar?
Yeah, Jane's knit hat.
Yeah, because like the trench coat looked a bit Firefly-ish to me.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. Didn't think about that.
So
Yeah, people are really gonna like that helmet though. When that does come out.
Wirt, was there anything that excited you about the Recon Mission?
Yeah, I like the new drone. I think now we have room to create a game that's based on drones, because now we have the good guys and the bad guys, because we have two. And well, I also like the jetpack prop. It looks like it has a lot of potential. Like just watching Ari create stuff with the jetpack, just I had that strong urge to just open up Project Spark, quit the stream and just start building stuff. I never had that urge so much before. I don't know. He just got into me with all the rotation stuff he was doing.
Yeah.
Because the same way he creates, I create as well. Like I just place a prop and then rotate it in the same anchor to just see how it looks in 4 ways, 6 ways, 8 ways. All that stuff.
So there's a lot of questions being asked in chat that I absolutely know that Brian's not going to answer. So
Still ask them.
Which characters from the previous games are going to be added? You're going to say we've only announced Teddy's and Conker, and there's going to be more probably, but you'll have to see.
There will be some more. Those are the two that we've talked about.
And as far as pricing, you guys aren't going to talk about pricing yet.
Yeah, we're not ready yet, but you will definitely, of course, we'll release pricing in advance.
And so I guess this is a question that might be more reasonable. Is it going to follow the same early introductory period?
I actually cannot talk about that.
So there's something different about it. Anyway, that's my takeaway.
Mm-hmm. There might be. We're really, I mean, we're looking at a bunch of different scenarios for like. We have the plan lockdown. We're just looking at interesting different scenarios.
And Meskad brings up a point. Can Conker be used in Champion's Quest?
Yes.
Episode 1?
Yes. So Conker we have a champion version of Conker as well, who is hilarious to play as. Claude was showing off just like the kind of tip of when he started experimenting with Conker's champion mechanics. And I gotta say, what Claude and Steve-O built is honestly incredibly fun, incredibly fun to play with. So that's going to be what you're going to be able to play as. It's going to be obviously very different than the Conker that you're playing in Conker's Big Reunion, because it kind of it follows the Conker in Champion's Quest is a champion which follows a bunch of different champion things that champions have to follow.
So we have a breakdown of the Conker. Have we broken down like how the assets will be divvied up? Is it just all in one pack, or is there a builder's pack in a game, kind of like Champion's Quest, or is there a pack just for Conker the Champion?
That's also something we haven't released yet, but that along with price will be released at the same time. Okay.
Because it seems to stand to reason that since you guys did that with Champion's Quest, and this seems to follow pretty much the exact same model as Champion's Quest, that it might be reasonable for us to expect that. That's my thinking.
Yeah, I guess you'll have to see.
I have a question too. Did you guys aim for the original Conker experience? I mean, like that you get money from doing some small missions or just finding hidden stuff inside the level, or did you go for a more linear version like the Champion's Quest?
I wish I could answer that, but I like we.
Just say the more fun answer.
The only thing I can say is I think Conker fans will have a lot of fun with episode 1 of Conker's Big Reunion. But like in terms of the gameplay of it or how that looks like, it's just something that we're not ready to release yet. more information is going to trickle out about that.
And Maple Platoon wants to know how Conker factors into the lore of Project Spark.
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. I mean, Conker is sort of so like the Conker champion. He was created to be this kind of fish out of the water. Like he's very confused by the fact that he's in this weird Spark universe where everything's so colorful, and so he makes a lot of really funny jabs out that. The Conker's big reunion. That's like we're basically creating sort of this multiverse, I would say. So that's kind of like in its own universe.
So could you just say it's a UGC type level where it's just independent of the Spark lore?
Yeah, exactly. So there's like Conker is the start of this interesting multiverse idea of like sort of different universes. There's a Spark universe, but there's other universes that can kind of coexist with the Spark universe. So that's kind of how he fits.
So they're a different membrane. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, depending if you follow M3 or not.
Right.
Does anybody here even know what I'm talking about when I say M3?
Of course.
Don't know if I believe you, but okay. At least words honest.
I mean, I studied quantum physics for a while, so yes.
Huh. Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of Conker questions. Does Conker talk to the player? You break the fourth wall, basically.
There are fourth wall breaking things. Yes, there are fourth wall breaking things. A Conker game is not complete without something breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And I can answer this one. Can you make Conker move with Connect? And the answer is, of course, yes.
Well, I think G-Man was asking kind of a more specific question, like, can you, in the game, can Conker use Connect to move?
I don't think so.
Well, he asked, like, it could be awesome if you...
No, I'm saying, I don't think the answer would be yes to that one.
Oh, no, yeah, so, we don't currently, in Project Spark, we don't have a way where you can actually use Connect as control inputs, but you can, so you can animate, do Connect animations on Conker and, like, make your own animations. The thing that everyone needs to keep in mind, Conker has a very different body shape than human body shape, so you're going to have to compensate. When I was first doing like the animations for the teaser trailer, I had to like get used to the compensation because he has a pear-shaped body, so you have to like really have your like arms out here to compensate for the fact that if you had a pear-shaped body like him, so some compensation will have to be done just because you're a human skeleton, not a squirrel skeleton. But it works pretty well. Like once you get used to the fact of pretending that you have this pear-shaped body, you can do some really fun things with it.
And if you wanted to make your own Conker game where have Conker say press B button, why press B button? I don't want to press B button or whatever.
Yes.
Then of course.
Please. Things that break the fourth wall are amazing. Conker is one of my favorite characters. Deadpool is one of my favorite characters because of that. Yeah. People should make things that break the fourth wall more often.
Conker has a tail. I don't understand, Mescad. Anyway,
I don't either.
So, is there more than one type of teddies in the game?
I think what Mesca means is because you're a moose, you can connect and you may use a connect with your tail.
No comment.
The connectable cannot follow because you don't have a tail. The connect will not follow your try and follow if you have a tail. So you can't like have your dog go in front of the Connect and try and like use that for the tail.
Damn it! I wanted to try.
I know.
Oh, will you guys be doing a pre-order for the Conker pack?
No, we will not be doing pre-order for Conker. I can say that.
I wonder if you just lost your job. No. So what is it that you yourself? I know Brian, you're a Conker fan. What are you looking forward to most with this Conker coming into Project Spark?
I'm just looking forward to, I don't know, they're like, so there are two things that our animators have put like so much care into all of, like, you have your like heavy attack animations and your flight animations and all these, and like your emotes, like your angry emotes. The animation team has put the most care into Conker that I've seen out of anyone else, which makes sense because Conker is like is a very expressive character. So I'm really excited what people are gonna do with all those emotes, and then also The music is just so nostalgic. I'm so excited to see what people are going to do with that music.
So how much of the music from Conker's Bad Fur Day is in there? Because I know
Not
not all the characters,
right.
right?
Some, but not all. That's the main themes are there. Themes associated with some of the characters that are in the pack are there, but not definitely not all of them. There's some hits that won't be in this pack. There are a lot of hits that are in this pack though.
So is it safe to say that whoever you put into the game, they're gonna have music related to them, or is it gonna be
Most
just
likely,
okay?
most likely, yeah.
So what else are you able to leak from the Conker pack?
Um, hmm. I don't think I can leak anything else besides the fact that we will have not really leak, but we will show off some. We will still be showing off some more things this week.
Okay, cool. So we're off air now. And both Bort and I have NDAs, so you can just tell us right now what are the exact assets that are inside of the Conker pack.
Yeah, I'm not ready to talk about that. Besides the fact that I actually still don't have the final number. Like we're still like going through the full list, but it's going to be somewhere in the between 200 and 300 total assets, and that like takes into account props and characters and paints and icons and sounds and music. Probably other things I'm forgetting about.
Are you guys going to release like a steady stream of Conker information, or do we have to wait until like the day before to actually find out
Oh
more
no, there'll
stuff?
be a steady stream. I mean, so we're about 4 weeks away. Well, is it 4? Yeah, yeah, 4 weeks away. And we have so much to talk about that we will be taking up these 4 weeks with different things to talk about with Conquer.
And we sure don't have another pack to talk about between Recon pack and Conker
Yep.
pack. So
Yeah, it was actually a happy accident in a way, where we were like slotting things, and then we actually originally we pushed Conquer back a tiny bit from an original release date just to give ourselves more time to polish. And we were like, well, there's all this space between Recon Mission and Conquer, and then we realized, wait a minute, there's so much stuff with Conquer, everything else is going to be lost in the shuffle. So it kind of works out for the best.
so is there going to be a long pause after Conker before we get more stuff as well?
Definitely no.
So a short pause.
Yes,
No pause.
short pause. Yeah, there's going to be plenty coming out after Conquer.
Are you calling
So,
April the month of Conker?
Pretty much. Conquer is like one of the last weeks of April, so yeah.
All right, go ahead, Wirt. Sorry to cut you off.
What I want to say, I forgot. Yeah. What do you think will be the community's reaction when it comes out? Do you think it will get viral, or do you think it will be just okay?
I think everyone's gonna hate it, and no one's gonna ever come back to Project Spark ever again.
That's my desired approach. Yes.
Yeah. No. So I would say that I had some kind of high expectations for how this would be received as like once we could finally start talking about Conquer, but the amount of coverage and reaction has far exceeded my expectations. So I don't quite know. It's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a very interesting time. I think there's going to be a surge inside of Project Spark that we haven't really seen too much of, and we're kind of treating it as like we're looking at this almost as kind of as big of an event as our initial release back in October, because it was more of like a soft release back in October, really. So this is sort of on the same scale as that we're thinking.
So one question was related to this in chat. It was actually addressed to me for a change for some reason. My opinion on people who are being negative towards this Conquer announcement and release inside of Project Spark, and I think I've made it pretty well known that these people are ruining it for everyone who's a Conker fan. If you are a Conker fan and you just spread hate about it, you're probably not helping the cause to actually get a standalone Conker game.
Well, so the position I would take, because obviously we knew there would be some negative reaction. Overall though, there was more positive than negative reaction. But the thing I would say to those people who are very negative about it, they have, from their perspective, they have a a justified thinking of it, because it may have been presented to him as sort of, this is your like this is your kind of one chance for Conker, and that's not it at all. It's more, Conker's coming into Project Spark. He's sort of coming to visit. He's and we're doing a lot of things with him there, and we are treating him with the greatest respect. But what happens to Conker inside of Project Spark is separate from anything that might happen outside of Project Spark. I think it was, if we, for instance, had decided, just hypothetically, our very first IP we were to bring in Project Spark would be like Master Chief. And then I think people would have had a much different expectation, because they know that a Halo series is ongoing, right? So it's not like this is sort of like, he's only here and we won't see him elsewhere. And so I think that was the worry a lot of people had. And it's sort of, this is very independent of what might happen outside. I don't know what will happen outside. I know pretty much as everyone else, but we are approaching it as in, this is independent from anything that happens outside. So like, hypothetically, if there was a full Conker game that, say, came out in like a year, we would keep on making our own Conker episodic experiences, as long as people continue to enjoy them.
I relate it to the Family Guy DVDs, because Family Guy was canceled once upon a time, and as a result, the fans of Family Guy who were upset that it was canceled, instead of saying, no, we don't want to buy the DVDs, we only want new episodes, and not buying the DVDs because they didn't actually want them, instead they actually bought the DVDs in such a large volume that Fox actually had to listen and say, oh, I guess we'll bring them back. And Family Guy is still on creating new episodes, new seasons to this day, because of that force of buying, showing that you're going to put your money where your mouth is, that you're actually fans of the show. That's how I look at it for Conker fans. If you actually want a standalone game, prove to the AAA developers that are actually going to have to put hundreds of millions of dollars into the Conker game that you're actually willing to pay for it. Otherwise, they're not going to make it. If your position is, this isn't exactly what I want, so I'm not going to buy it. But that's just me from a business perspective.
Yeah, and even those people who are big Conker fans, I would say you're gonna have a lot of fun with this episodic experience. It's different. It is different than a full-size game, because it's episodic, so they're kind of shorter episodic bursts. But I think you're going to still, no matter what, you'll still have fun with it, regardless of whatever happens outside of Project Spark.
Good deal.
Well, for me, Conker is not my favorite IP, but it's very good IP. I like it very much. But I'm thinking how it would be if you guys made my favorite IP and brought it into Spark. So I'm thinking people that really love Conker will just create so many levels. They will be really happy about it.
So when I was a kid and Super Smash Brothers came out, I always dreamed of the thing I always wanted someone to make for me was this Super Smash Brothers of game design, and that's what I've kind of been calling Project Spark recently, kind of part of our vision. I always imagined, what if say Nintendo back in the day, because I was playing Super Smash Brothers, gave me a game where I could take Mario and play as him in a Zelda game where my enemies were all from Donkey Kong.
Well, that was Super Mario RPG, wasn't
it? Well, somewhat.
Yeah, I know. It was a stretch, but it's close.
Yeah, that's sort of a stretch. But so, the thing that I think people aren't really thinking too much about, which is gets me the most excited about this, just from me thinking of it from a consumer rather than now developer at Team Dakota, is the fact that if people really like what we do with Conker, and if we continue bringing other IP into Project Spark, it becoming this playground, this sandbox of you taking all of your favorite video game characters, mashing them together into that game that you always dreamed as a kid of having. It's it is insanely powerful, that idea. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to we want to see what happens with Conker, if Conker works, but I'm really looking forward to what we do with that down the road.
There was another related question to that. Are you guys considering or in the process of adding other IPs to Project Spark?
Way too early to talk about anything regarding other IP.
So the answer is yes. They just can't talk about it yet.
No, the answer
But
is
it will.
way down the road,
I
potentially
think
even.
it will all depend on how Conker goes.
Yeah, I will realistically say that. Totally. If I think if like the overall reaction is Conquer comes to Project Spark and people are like, well, I don't really care that another IP is in there. I just want to create my own stuff. Then we would respond accordingly and say, okay, well, you guys don't really care too much if other IP comes and you can create games with them. So we'll kind of focus more on you making your own things.
So what do we have to do to get you and Games Workshop to work together so we can get Warhammer inside of Project Spark?
Apparently, you need a bunch of people to tweet at Phil Spencer and also to tweet at the head of what'd you say?
Games
Warhammer?
Workshop.
Okay, the head of Games Workshop or whatever. You need a campaign of people. I think Conquer is just a funny thing of like right time, right place of just. It was all really started by one person's tweet, and a few other people then tweeted that like, yeah, that would be amazing, and it's just that was just right time, right place. But probably if we saw this huge surge of people asking for something, we would definitely look into it.
All right, so I'm going to create an army of spam bots. Yeah. But so moving along to another topic, because we as creators, we're not, and Wirt and I aren't actually Conker fans ourselves. We're not going to claim to be. We're familiar with him. We know he's funny, but we didn't grow loving the game. Grow up loving the game, rather. So my impact was the props that came out of this, and much like Champions Quest, you guys developed a game, and you found resources that need to be made in order to accommodate it. Is there anything that so for Champions Quest that was multiplayer and what else was there that was related to that? I remember there was some other feature. But was there anything?
There was a lot of props with Champions Quest.
Yeah.
Like for instance, I would say that a lot of people their favorite thing about the creation pack with Champions Quest was all the songs that came with it. Like it had a huge amount of like really like much better songs than sort of people had in Project Spark. So like yeah, what I can definitely say after now being on the developer side of things and watching us as we make Conquer, you guys will really like it when we make games inside of Project Spark because, like, for instance, we had one of our design leads was working on this one Conquer scene. And it was like, oh man, it'd be so cool if I could put this asset in there and it'd, like, make everything so cool. And so then the next day he's like, all right, I just built it, so now people will have it in their game. So, like, things like that have led to, like, they led to really specific but awesome
that was my point.
Ideas. Yeah.
That was my point. When you guys are building something inside of Project Spark, you actually recognize the stuff that we've been requesting all the time, like more paints. Yeah, exactly. And then you finally say, okay, well, we need it, so we're going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. So, like, when more of our team realizes that, oh, we really do need that, then it's a good thing.
And at this point, you've mentioned before that, was it you or Zach, I believe? I think it was Zach, actually, that said we had a campaign for the things we want the most. In order to actually get them through, because if it's just one person saying this is my checklist, this is the stuff I want, and nobody else is saying that, it probably won't have much muster. But
well, I would say if like 50 people in the community, like core community, all say we need this exact thing, then they will definitely look at that. But if only one person can say we need this thing, and kind of no one else joins them, then yeah, we'll probably have put lower priority on that.
It reminds me a little bit of WWE, one of the early beta members who was making a wrestling game, and he basically stopped playing because at one point Henry said them making a grappling mechanic wasn't a high priority because it was really specific.
Right.
Yeah,
like that. A lot of things. So the difficult thing is, everyone in Project Spark, you're making your game, and so there's such specific stuff to like your own game that you wish you could have. So that kind of gets hard because there's like thousands of very specific things we could do to make one creator insanely happy. And when we can think of a specific thing that would make 300 creators really happy, that's like what we always look at. So I think we're definitely working on things that will make a lot of creators happy, though. Like we're working on some features that a lot of people have been asking about.
Yeah, but still, don't get me wrong. There is plenty of stuff that you can do with Project Spark. Like there are so many workarounds. I mean, even if you wanted to, I don't know. People have asked, for example, to have props. I have asked the same thing as well. Like have props interact with people or characters. You can do that in code. If you attach them properly, do the Kinect animation properly, you can do it. So there are some hard workarounds you can currently do.
Hmm.
The only thing I found that you cannot really do is have basically it's related to displaying stuff. So if you want to display an icon in 3D space or have a highlight behind the prop, so in front, that kind of stuff is only the things I cannot find a workaround.
Sure, yeah.
But there is a lot of stuff you can do, especially now if you explore Kinect. I think people haven't really found the how powerful Kinect is. Like now I'm making this movie and I've realized that there are ways that you can make music sound good. Like not exactly 100% good, but at least 70%. And it's a whole new experience. Of course there are still a few issues with Kinect, but still it's very powerful, I think. I use it in every project since I
Yeah.
learned how to use it.
Yeah, if you want like an example of what you can really do with Kinect, I've really used it in almost every one of my games, but the one that I spent the most time tweaking it to make very new mechanics was my Attack on Titan multiplayer game, where you have the Titan kind of grabs people and like brings up their mountain,
Yeah,
mountain
yeah,
and like
I remember
eats
that.
them. And then I also created a stomp attack where the Titan will lift its leg and like stomp on the ground and like crush anyone underneath of it. So like you can create your own custom attacks already with Kinect. You just have to do planning around that. You can even create your own walking animations with Kinect that I've never seen anyone really use. I actually had that for a bit with Attack on Titan, and it just didn't.
You'll see
It
it
didn't.
tomorrow, don't worry.
Yeah. Well. Oh, interesting.
I'm
Ooh.
releasing tomorrow. You'll have that.
Okay, that's very cool. Because like you totally can. All you need to do is have a looping Kinect animation, and then just have move the position of your character, and then you have a walking animation.
Yeah. Or attach it to a moving object. So it
Yeah,
looks like
exactly.
it's hunting it.
Hmm.
So this actually links up to the next topic I was going to bring up. On the .com forums, there was actually a thread about it being easier to start a game than finish one,
Oh,
and
sure.
Wirt seems to be like the expert at actually finishing games instead of
Yes.
not finishing them. So Wirt,
Yeah.
is there any tricks that you do? Like, do you keep the scope small so it's actually something you can do in a week, or what's your mindset when you start a project?
I say to myself, I have to start with something simple and something that I enjoy. Like all the times that I've said to myself, you know what, let's raise the bar. Let's do something better, longer, and just more complex. Every time I've said that, I've never finished the project. Never, not even once. But every time I said, you know what, let's just make something like a jamming. You know, like just put something together. Just something really simple. Just simple checkpoint, start, finish, a few cutscenes. Nothing resets, only when you die, and that's it. If you something easy to make, basically something that you can make in 5 days. And so I just start. I have the simple layout, and every time in every single detail, something comes up. It's like, hey, you know what? That would be cool to do. So I just add little details here and there, and then it becomes a whole new project. So I start from something simple, and then it turns out to be something complex, which it's basically based on a simple idea.
Yeah, like I myself, for my bigger projects, I split it up into, I like, from the outset, I decide I need this mechanic, this thing that happens, and this, and like this thing, and I parse that stuff out, and I work on each one of them separately. And if I'm working on one and get really bored, then I want to make sure that I put the mechanics in a way where I can say, well, I guess I don't really need this mechanic in the game. I don't really have, it doesn't really have to have it. And so then, um, it makes it a bit easier, a bit easier to swallow. Like, but it definitely does take time. You just have to plug at it, and like if you have a small win one day, that's like kind of all the motivation you need to continue on. Like just tackling the smallest thing each day. Like for instance, I had a lot of fun. I'm still working on my Zombie Punch 3 game, which will have like a fully randomly generated city. And so like one day I just made it so just one of my characters, I made it so that as more you got more and more zombies in the world, then this enemy character got stronger and stronger and had better attacks. I now need to do it to 20 other character types. but at least I got it to 1, and it worked really well. So like, I kind of just break each piece off, and you have to do it in a way where you feel kind of accomplished by doing a simple thing.
So Bob and I do a similar. Well, recently we started doing a similar process where we try to get the core mechanics down first, so you can have a beginning, middle, and end that's already done. So when you give up and say no more, I don't want to do any more, you can actually release something.
Yeah, exactly.
But when we first started, we just kept building upon an ogre battle game that never got finished because we never put in the victory condition or really any AI or anything like that. So we just kept building a more and more complex system, but we didn't actually support it by having any AI or UI, to display to the player that didn't already know what all the mechanics were, how to do things. So eventually it just came with this big backlog of just busy work that we never finished, and then a really bad virus happened to Bob's level, where all of the variable names disappeared, and we can't get that back. If we export something from that level, then the level that it gets put into then has that virus.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I had the same. I had to drop a puzzle game which was 44 levels long because of the same thing.
Oh, man.
It was the time when we were started making huge projects.
Yeah, I had that back in. It happened a lot more in beta.
Right. It was definitely a beta project.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, it was
because
very.
I had that with Zombie Punch 2, and I actually just had to release it as is after that came out, which was never it was never a fully completed game because I just lost every single vector variable and every single number variable. I totally lost.
Yeah, we lost like 6 months worth of work in that. Several hundreds of pages of the code. It was pretty painful, especially because that's my dream game of what I want to make in Project Spark. But I've kind of learned to live with the fact that, well, most of the stuff that I wanted to make, it was a strategy game. So inside of Spark, that's not exactly the most user-friendly game to make. So until UI assistance has been put in, stuff like that, I'm probably not going to have the assets to develop this in a friendly way anyway. So I'm just waiting patiently for the more advanced stuff to come in to help the veteran users.
Actually,
and so it's a funny question asked.
Change the topic. Good job.
No. Well, this kind of relates to what we're talking about. But any idea if there will be any bugs and glitches day 1 for Conker?
Sure.
Our goal is none. Let's hope there's none. We're really working on polishing up as much as possible.
He has to pass the words test.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about bugs in Project Spark has always been you're just exposed to them a whole lot more than you are with a game like WoW, where you level past a bug on the quest and you never see it again. But with Spark, if it's a bug in the editor, then you always see it. It's always there. It's omnipresent, basically. You never outlevel a bug in Project Spark. So that's just why people think there's more bugs in Project Spark. But from everything I've seen or heard, it's about a reasonable number of bugs relative to any other product out there. That reasonable, Brian?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say your ability to find bugs in Project Spark is so much easier because you're not brought down a linear path. You're given an open canvas, and therefore, the more you experiment, the more interesting things you'll find. It is a correct assumption to say that we do have less bugs than a lot of other titles out there, but it's just the propensity of the bugs. You tend to find them more. But overall, our bug count has significantly gone down since release, at least. We hit on more and more with each title update. So we're getting there. We're totally getting there.
So, random topic change, because I just thought of it. The treasure trove this week, the special reward is the pre-order bow.
Right. Evergreen bow.
So, my question to chat and to Wirt and to you yourself as a player, do you prefer getting the special items or like the content packs like the Hunters pack last week? Wirt?
If I prefer, well, I always prefer something that I don't have. But if the Hunter pack was something that I didn't have, then I would choose that because it's more props.
Brian? as a creator, because that's what you do sometimes.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard with this question to stay objective because I have all the packs also as a creator, so I prefer the things I don't have. If I didn't have the packs, then I would really enjoy having a chance to get those packs.
So, are you going to continue adding like? So, there's only so many small packs in Spark. Are you just going to rotate them through, or?
We will have a lot of different surprises every week for Treasure Trove. Some of them will be random packs. Some might be pre-order items. We'll just have random things that kind of every week will be a different surprise. That's why it's a treasure.
So we haven't seen Zach in a while. Is he still alive?
Oh yeah, he's probably out there right now working on Crossroads.
So he's working on Crossroads now. Why?
He's starting to split his time basically between the community management team and the content team. Really helping to work on Crossroads and work on other content-related things.
Content-related things. That sounds interesting.
Yeah,
More interesting than Crossroads, anyway.
Zach from our team was he was a game developer at heart, and that's why he kind of fit really well as someone on their community management team. And so now he has the chance to also do kind of what he studied in school as well. So it's pretty awesome, and he's really making some progress with doing some cool things with Crossroads and just generally with kind of the props. He works really closely with BJ and Keith on all of the props that we put in our game.
So couldn't you put him towards something useful instead of Crossroads?
Well, I think it's a useful endeavor to improve upon it. He's definitely been making some improvements, and I think so Conker's a champion, so you can assume Conker will be in Crossroads. Other Conker related things might be in Crossroads, and I think people have quite a bit of fun with Conker and Crossroads. Might reinvigorate some people to try out Crossroads again.
Not unless I have a reason to, honestly.
I know. But anyways, I have to get back to. I'm actually even helping out with a lot of Conker stuff. So I got to get back to that. We have so much to do.
Okay, well then, do you have any final?
Just before you go,
Sure.
Speaking about the treasure trove, do you guys have an idea of putting the grand prize be hidden, like just a question mark, so nobody knows what's the?
Oh yeah. It's an interesting thing to debate. We want to, so it's like the treasure trove is really honestly there as a main thing to, at its heart, it was there to drive kind of engagement. So that's why it's not kind of a question mark. It's there to kind of get people really excited about having another kind of reason to log in each day, and also giving people who. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I mean, we might try it out. Like, I think we'll definitely have some weeks where we have more experimentations in the treasure trove, and that might be one experimentation of like you don't know what it might be. It's a mystery box.
Oh yeah, mystery box.
Just
I get
add
it.
one prop, just one single prop left in the backlog, and just add it just 1 week and put it in the treasure trove and add the question mark.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome if you guys put like the Island of Misfit props or something like and put those into the treasure trove. Like props that were generated but didn't actually make it into a content pack for whatever reason.
Yeah,
all right,
potentially.
Brian, do you have any parting words for us?
No, I just say
Game Jam.
We're gonna be really Oh God, you didn't even talk about that. Yeah, Game Jam. Talk. It's Game Jam is amazing. We have I think it's 50-ish levels already. We have last I checked, almost 9,000 people who've played that Game Jam entry level, so they all know what's going on. So, yeah, it's going to be really cool. And everyone who doesn't know about it, the .org staff, which actually both Wertandrew and Moose are part of the .org staff, project-spark.org, they're running the big community Game Jam currently ongoing. Get a submission in by April 5th before it hits midnight of the next day, and you'll be entered for a chance to win some pretty awesome prizes, including Alienware laptops, basically all of the stuff ever in Project Spark. Well, not actually ever, because
until now.
That was a legal gray area. We had to.
We tried to push them for all the stuff content forever, and they couldn't say what by definition is forever. So
yeah. Yeah, so but there's really really cool prizes there. I think we're already seeing some very interesting submissions. So and there's so many prizes that really, even if you're kind of worried about the fact that well, there's a lot of pros going up for stuff. I don't know if I'm going to have something good. You should completely try. I mean, we had people who hadn't really built levels before who actually were finalists and winners of the last Game Jam. So everyone should submit something because we have
50 prizes.
Yep, 50 prizes. So
And
even if you don't think you'll have a shot at getting grand prize because there's so many other people, you have, if
a
you
really good
put some-
chance.
yeah. If like honestly, if you just think about a cool new idea, like if you just have a fun new idea, that might be enough to get you like into the top 50. Like a really fun, interesting new idea that no one's really ever thought about. Like
As
it's
long as
all
you're
about-
not attacking goblins or doing some
Right,
hack and
as
slash
long
and
as it's
3D
not like
action
I'm
adventure.
punching goblins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you do something different, like that's pretty much the bare minimum to enter the door. Because 50 levels, like I'm not even sure if there were 50 good submissions for the first Game Jam, and now this one's international.
Right,
So,
right.
if you make something that's decent and not just thrown together because lol, throw stuff together.
Yeah.
If you put so there's about 10 days left in the Game Jam, I think.
11, so tomorrow will be 10. Yeah, and also, yeah, like just make something. Like I'm actually, even though I can't win, I'm totally making something for it. It'll be kind of based on
Same.
yeah, there's a game called Flower that came out where you're just like these flowers kind of floating over the meadow. I love the game, so I'm making something similar to that called Pebbles.
Well, not only is that not innovative because you're copying somebody else, but no, I'm kidding.
No, it's what you'll see.
Okay.
It's different. It's like it's really cool. I built this like cool blob like mechanic. It's cool.
All right. Well, I actually look
I
forward
think
to
it's
that.
cool. So therefore, you will all think it's cool.
Well, yes, sir. May I
Are
have
you
certain-
gonna tag it and name it with
Yeah,
a
yeah.
game
I'll
tag?
tag it and name it. I can't win a prize because I'm obviously work for Team Dakota. But just like BJ, he made his cool stick man.
That was awesome. Ninja magic.
Yeah, yeah. Ninja magic. It was awesome, and he obviously couldn't win, but it's still really cool to make stuff for it. So yeah,
So,
So I can do the same then.
yeah,
Brian, if you have to run, we can talk a little bit about the Game Jam without
Yeah.
you, because we are like
totally.
we're.
I know. You
the
guys have a
people.
lot more to talk about with the game jam. I apologize. I have to go. It's gonna be a fight to the 23rd. Just like getting everything as best as possible for
Well,
everybody.
enjoy your overtime.
Thank you. All right. Talk to you guys later.
Later.
I'll
See ya.
keep this up so that you don't have this blank screen.
Oh, that's awesome. Otherwise, I have a wort on two, split in half.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Take care, guys.
All right, later, Brian. So, with this Game Jam, for those who don't know, it's a community competition, and it lasted for about 3 weeks, but we have roughly a little over a week left. And like Wirt said, he can make a game in under 10 days, so you can always try that. Wirt, have you looked at any of the submissions so far?
I've looked in the one that KMK Hunter did, the one with the it reverses time or just it logs your movements,
Mm-hmm.
similar to Mesket's idea. I think I've looked into other ones as well. Can't remember. It was just random stuff. The other
Most of
one
what
I
I've seen so far has been on Twitter, actually, where Lady Lex and Lucid Stew have been posting their some screenshots of their work, as well as Elysian Rain. She posted the title screen for her level. So we are actually encouraging people to post screenshots and videos of their level on social media or on the .org games page or on the Play My Creation forum. As long as we know it's a Game Jam entry and you're posting stuff about it, we will basically give you 10,000 credits if we see it. So if you're promoting it actively, then we'll probably see it, because we are looking for it, like with hashtag Game Jam on Twitter, for example. We've given out, I think it's about a baker's dozen of these codes so far, and we have a bit more to go. So while supplies last, we'll give out these 10,000 credit codes to those who participate in the promotional aspect. This promotional aspect is distinct and independent from the scoring of the Game Jam. So and the prizes that would come afterwards. So the important thing with this is there's 50 prizes. So even if you don't get one of the top 4 slots, which are basically the biggest prizes, you can still get really good prizes that I think anybody would like. So one of the more commonly requested things is upload slots. And Wirt, how valuable to you are upload slots?
Yeah, I remember when Project Spark released, I was simply just answering, "Hey, there he is."
So it's Spark Thomas.
I was answering levels just to publish the new ones. I didn't have any slots. Hey, well, he closed it.
That jerk. Alright. Oh, is this because I banned you? Is that what happened? Because I banned you in chat? Okay. Well, what's going to happen now is Wirt's head is going to split in half because Skype is going to reposition. That just happened. I'm not going to bother repositioning that. That's kind of hilarious.
Oh, come on. I don't want to look like I'm cut in half. Can we invite someone?
We could, or we could just end at this point because I think we've said all we need to about the game jam. But just make sure you enter your submission following the rules that are posted on the rules page or the FAQ if you prefer the short version at project-spark.org/gamejam/FAQ FAQ. And we just lost Wirt too. And now we have an advertisement.
No, I just I closed the camera. I'm still here.
Okay, well now we have an advertisement on screen. It's Dell, so that's Alienware, so I guess it's okay. Anyway, with that bombshell, we are going to conclude the 38th, I believe it was, episode of the SparkCast. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I know we had a lot of questions in chat that we didn't quite get to, but we had a lot to talk about today. But we will definitely get to more next week when there's a little bit more calm in the waters, unless they release more bombshells. But stay tuned for those too. So with that, good night, everybody. Good night, Wirt. Thanks.
Good night. Thank you. Good night, guys.